Happening now, Jamestown City Council is scheduled to continue their talks about making detectives wear body cameras. Plus, the latest on a crash that killed a Jamestown man over the weekend.
And we might be in August, but we're not done with the summer heat and humidity. It is going to continue throughout this week. I've got the details next. The News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we start a new week. I'm Justin Gould. A City of Jamestown man was killed early yesterday morning after police say he crashed the car he was driving off Interstate 86's eastbound ramp at Jamestown's exit 12. New York State Police Captain Eric Balin says a preliminary investigation determined that 40-year-old Jeffrey Baker, driving a 2003 Pontiac Vibe, was traveling at a high rate of speed when he exited the shoulder. The vehicle then traveled down an embankment, rolling and coming to rest on its side. Balin says a passing motorist observed lights down the embankment and called it in to authorities. However, there were no identified witnesses of the crash. The Fluvanna Fire Department, Falkirk Fire Department, and Chautauqua County Emergency Services were then dispatched. The county coroner was also later called to the scene. Troopers say Baker was the operator and sole occupant of the vehicle and was still in his seatbelt when he was found by crews. It appears that the vehicle was off the roadway for quite some time before it was discovered. His body was taken from the vehicle and sent to the Erie County Medical Examiner's office for autopsy. The discussion on whether to require Jamestown police detectives wear body cameras while in the field will continue at tonight's City Council work session meeting. Last month, Councilman-at-Large Jeff Russell, a former Jamestown police officer himself, made the recommendation. Russell says that wearing body cameras help clear any matters involving allegations that could be made against police detectives or even their supervisors. Now, currently, only uniformed police officers wear body cameras here in the city of Jamestown. The councilman has so far received vocal bipartisan support of the proposal. The lawmaking body is scheduled to meet tonight at 7:30 via Zoom. Residents can watch the meeting live at jamestownny.gov/live. Of course, we'll have full coverage of the meeting tomorrow right here at noon. A sobering milestone with the news that the U.S. topped 5 million cases of COVID-19 nationwide yesterday. And as the pandemic continues, many families are finding themselves struggling to make ends meet. In an effort to ease their burden, President Trump signed 4 new executive actions over the weekend. 3 are memorandums and 1 is an executive order. But what do they really mean for the average American? Washington correspondent Britt Conway explains.
Stimulus talks may have stalled, but President Trump is pushing full steam ahead with 4 executive actions. And White House Chief Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow says it was the right thing to do.
He has said we will use every power the federal government has to help out, and I think this is an example of that.
But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi questions their effectiveness, among other things.
They're absurdly unconstitutional.
So let's break these down. First up, an additional $400 in unemployment benefits. States would have to pay the first $100, then the federal government would add $300. But do states have the money?
The states have not spent all the money that was allocated to them.
No, they don't. They have expenses from the coronavirus. They have lost revenue.
Up next, pausing payments and interest on federal student loans until the end of the year. Number 3, an executive order on eviction, putting that decision in the hands of the Department of Health and Human Services and the CDC.
If they are concerned about community spread, for example, they will trigger actions that will prevent evictions.
The 4th and final signature, delaying the payroll tax until the end of the year. That's what comes out of your paycheck for Social Security and Medicare. But questions remain over legalities of these actions.
I understand there will be a debate.
Whether they're legal or not takes time to figure out.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
All right, Britt, thank you. The White House advisor says they should find soon about whether or not states will be able to offer up the $100 boost in unemployment benefits. Meanwhile, back here at home, friends and family of a former longtime Falconer educator who's currently battling cancer gathered last night for a car parade to celebrate her birthday. More than 40 cars lined up bumper to bumper, starting at the Southwestern School District bus garage on Bentley Avenue, signifying the impact that teacher Karen Cotton had on students, fellow teachers, and community members alike. WNY News Now spoke with Allie and Zara Miles at that event. They tell us that Cotton's additional role as a Girl Scout leader was instrumental in them learning how to adapt to what life throws their way.
And always just a super cheerful person, willing to help everyone out and make everybody smile.
She was just always outgoing, always friendly, just a nice person to know. I loved going to camp and that with her and getting to know other people, because I wasn't a very sociable person, but getting to know other people in the troop and actually go to camp and that, it was quite fun. And
now, both detailed a strong sense of humor from Cotton, which was key to working a camp full of young people. And certainly I can attest to the knowledge that this great woman brought to the Falconer community, and certainly we wish her so very well and send her prayers in her battle with cancer. And it's great to see the community come out last night. In total, final count, more than 70 cars drove by her house in a show of support, 40 there in the car parade. So it was really incredible to see, and we thank the organizers for setting that up. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we start a brand new week. Let's check in with the comments and see how Dawn's doing. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Good to see Butch. Good to see Joseph, Dave, and Pam as well. Good afternoon to Samantha. Hopefully everybody is having a good day and staying cool out there, because it certainly is another warm August day. Let's get a check of that now with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. I saw you wipe your brow there, Dakota, and it's going to be another hot one here today.
Yes, it is going to be another scorcher out there. Well, not necessarily a scorcher, but it is above average for this time of the year. Live look over Salamanca, already up to 81 degrees as a noon hour. Now, keep in mind, the average high temperature for this day is 79. So when you add that in, plus the very sticky humidity, it's going to be feeling more like July out there once again. First Defense Doppler radar is nice and dry out there today, but again, there will be a small chance of an isolated shower this afternoon. It's a small chance, but I wouldn't necessarily rule on that actually happening. The better chance of rain is going to be tomorrow, relatively speaking. 80 already here in town, 81 Randolph, 83 Fredonia, 85 Dunkirk, 81 Clymer, 86 already over in Erie, but the temperature is not really the big problem. It is the dew points. Again, dew points already ranging close to 70. In fact, it's already at 70 up there in Fredonia, 66 in Randolph, 68 here in town. So when the dew point reaches the mid to upper 60s and the 70s, that's when it's almost the air you can wear. It's kind of feeling very sticky out there. 80 was the high yesterday. 63 is officially where we started the day. 96 was the record high for this date back in 1940, and the record low was set back in 1975 in the 40s. So through the afternoon, loads of sunshine, almost steamy humidity out there today. Again, a small chance for an isolated shower, mainly across the state line. It's about 20 to 25% chance. Wouldn't necessarily count on that happening, but don't be surprised if you do see a little drizzle or two. 80 at the lakeshore to 88 well inland, and not a whole lot of wind. Southwest 4 to 12, although there might be a little bit of a breeze, especially later on today. We'll keep the humidity going, and then the dreaded afternoon scattered showers and storms return. I've got the details in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll look forward to that. Thank you. Search crews safely located and rescued a missing swimmer in Lake Erie yesterday. Emergency crews were first dispatched to Point Garrett around 3:30 in the afternoon. A search by the Chautauqua County Emergency Services, the county's WET team, the county's technical rescue team, Chautauqua County Sheriff, City of Dunkirk Fire, police, and even the U.S. Coast Guard then ensued. Now, after 30 minutes, police scanner reports indicated the man, who was believed to be in his 20s, was spotted near the cliffs at the Dunkirk lighthouse. Crews were able to successfully rescue him from a nearby cliff. Well, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo yesterday dismissing President Donald Trump's executive order as laughable and says it's another chapter in the federal government's botched response to this COVID-19 pandemic, as he praised New Yorkers for mostly good behavior that has reduced infection. The Democrat was particularly critical of Trump's Saturday announcement that states must pay part of the $400 weekly unemployment insurance benefits. He told reporters in a telephone news conference that Trump's plan would likely cost New York State $4 billion.
The concept of saying to states, you pay 25% of the unemployment insurance is just laughable. And my advice is, when you are in a hole, stop digging.
Meanwhile, the governor praised New Yorkers for driving down the rate of infections here in the state, so low that only 0.78% of the 65,000 tests performed on Saturday came back positive. Coming up, why the lack of federal funds could mean some more drastic cuts here locally. And later, we tell you about a new selection that is ushering in the fall season a little earlier this year. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I grew up in a single-parent home. We were raised by my mom in a one-bedroom apartment in Queens, and I slept in what was supposed to be a dining room just off the kitchen. We were poor and fell behind in our bills. More than once, our electricity was shut off and there were eviction notices taped to our door. I remember walking into our kitchen and finding my mother standing by the stove, crying to herself because she didn't know what to do and felt helpless. I was about 9 or 10 when our apartment was robbed. I remember arriving home with my mother and brother and finding the door open, feeling confused because the first thing I saw was that our television, a set which forever sat on a stand in the living room, was missing. I know firsthand what it's like to be a victim, to be assaulted, robbed, to have things taken from you which you're never going to get back, and to be scarred by experiences which 30 and 40 years later still haunt me. We're lucky enough to live in Chautauqua County, where by and large we feel safe, but unfortunately bad things do happen here. I want to be the district attorney who personally prosecutes the most serious crimes and who's there for victims every step of the way. These are the people I want to represent, to fight for their justice, to fight for our justice in the courtroom, to help people who have suffered at the hands of others. This is why I want to be your district attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. The main disagreement between Democrats and Republicans in the latest COVID-19 relief package is federal funding for states, cities, and counties, which would mean drastic cuts to some vital services. That's the warning from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who voiced her concerns while visiting the Feed More Western New York Distribution Center in Falconer late last week. She says cuts would be to areas such as first responders, child care, and other non-mandated social programs.
Anything that is not mandatory spending will be cut. That includes money for homeless shelters. It includes money for food banks. It includes money for domestic violence shelters, substance abuse programs. Anything that really gets into the deepest needs of our community are the first things that will be cut.
Gillibrand says the package is being negotiated, and she remains hopeful that the Senate can vote on a relief bill sometime this week. Well, up to 40 million Americans could face evictions without that bill. That's according to a report released last week by the Aspen Institute. The report warns that the U.S. may be facing its most severe housing crisis in history. Renters in the southern part of the country face the highest risk of eviction. The report suggests enhanced unemployment benefits and at least $100 billion in emergency rental assistance could help stave off the evictions. Now, here in New York State, officials say the moratorium on evictions will stay in place until the crisis ends. That means those who fall behind in monthly rent payments are not legally allowed to be evicted from their property. However, back rent will still be owed to the landlord. Well, fear and concern over the coronavirus pandemic can lead to more stress for pretty much everybody. But during this pandemic, one child psychologist says he's seeing a significant increase in mental health issues among children. As our Mandy Gaithner explains, parents do have some tips to help.
Fear of getting sick, concerns over masks, unemployment, isolation, and anxiety over it all. This pandemic has been hard on everyone, especially children.
It's almost a perfect storm, if you will, of factors that really increase the stress.
Ryan Madigan, a child psychologist and founder of the Boston Child Study Center, says during this pandemic, he's seen a 40% rise in psychological problems in children.
Children are sponges, and they pick up on far more than we realize.
With school around the corner, Madigan says it's especially important for parents to maintain a balance, be vigilant about things like social distancing, masks, hand washing, but also explain that these things are being done to keep everyone safe.
Uncertainty breeds fear. So the more uncertainty there is for the child about what's going on, the more anxiety is going to follow.
Talking to your child about what they're feeling can also help ease the worry.
If we can embody as a culture a way of sort of listening, learning to listen to emotions rather than ignore, fight, or dismiss them, I think we'll all be a lot healthier in the long run.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The psychologist says parents also need to make sure they're taking care of their own mental health needs so they're able to be there for their kids. The Southern Tier Brewing Company is offering up another way to enjoy their seasonal favorite, pumpkin, this fall. The company's distillery has created a new pumpkin whiskey, and they say the drink is made from a handcrafted whiskey with flavors of pumpkin pie, spice, buttery cream, and pie crust. Now, the recipe, brewers say, is like pumpkin pie in a shot glass. The whiskey is currently available for sampling and purchase at the Empty Bottle, Southern Tier's Distilling Company's tasting room in Lakewood. The craft will also be on sale at Southern Tier's retail partners this month and into early September. Certainly pumpkin spice coming earlier and earlier. And why not? I mean, this year has been kind of crazy, so why not get involved in it? And I've always kind of jokingly said that it seems like we need a mulligan for 2020 just because of all the craziness that is happening. But the one real great thing I think about Western New York is that the community is strong, and we'll certainly get through it together. And we appreciate you for choosing us as your source of accurate news, because that's all we want to give you is the news. just the news. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Jay. Hopefully you're doing well. He says he takes care of his mental health with some Tim Hortons coffee. Got to agree with you there. Good to see Renee, Crystal, Lisa, and Don as well. Hopefully you're having a good day. Great to see John, Mitch, and Cindy. David, great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us as always. Hopefully everyone is having a good day, and whether you're looking towards fall or enjoying the summer, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is here, and Mr. Hunter, you certainly do your best every day with the forecast, and I think one of the biggest things, too, when looking at this summer is it's been pretty hot, all things considered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this summer, I mean, in terms of the heat and the humidity, yeah, it hasn't been as bad as it could have been, but last month definitely was very warm, and now we're continuing the warm. So, hey, if you need a place to cool down, the beach today might be a good place, but we have heard of possible overcrowding issues at Presque Isle Beach in Erie. So not sure on that. So please don't overcrowd. Social distancing. Please don't ruin it for everybody else. Just social distancing. 80 at the Lake Erie waterfront today. Very high UV index. So sunscreen definitely is going to be recommended. And the Lake Erie water temperature down a degree, down to 76 degrees, but it's still kind of warm. Now that's going to be the cooler spot today because as you work inland, temperatures are going to be spiking into the mid to upper 80s in spots. So if you have a tea time this afternoon, it should be fine. Southwest wind averaging about 5 to 12 miles per hour through the afternoon. Basically mid to upper 80s today for the inland areas. So take breaks if you can. Obviously after you shot and you take a mulligan like me, just try to take a break and have a lot of water with you on hand. So stay by the AC today if you don't want to get out today. That'll be the best place to be today. Scattered afternoon showers and storms pop up once again tomorrow. The humidity stays in play throughout much of this week. So if you're looking for some sort of relief for the humidity, not going to be coming our way anytime soon. And we get into more pop-up scattered and storms later this week. 80 right now at the Jamestown Airport. Healthy southwest wind to 13 as a noon hour with a wind gust to 16. But this dew point at 68 is going to be the big problem. It is making it feel more like 83 degrees. So your clothes are going to be kind of sticking to you as you kind of walk out the door today. So the future heat index here, where we're going here, will likely peak out around 84 for the peak heat index today, maybe 85, 86 tomorrow. We'll back it down a little bit Wednesday and Thursday, and then we shoot right back up into the later half of the week going into the weekend. High pressure is built into our south. This is going to be your fair weather pal for today, but even though we have high pressure that's kind of influencing much of the Northeast and the Great Lakes region, because of the high humidity that's in play, we're still going to introduce the chance for scattered afternoon showers and storms. Stalled front well down to our south, and severe weather in parts of Iowa. There's actually been some reports of 100 mile per hour wind gusts out here at the surface in some of these storms. So at least the severe weather is missing us. No severe weather threat for at least a while. Here we go with Future Scan. This particular model shows you the idea of a few of those little isolated showers. Again, as I told you during the first weather segment, it's only a 20 to 25% chance. I would not count on those actually forming, but if you do feel a little drizzle, don't be like Hunter and send the hate mail because he was here telling you that. Now tomorrow, here we go. Better chance for scattered afternoon showers and storms popping up in the afternoon. Again, the radar is not going to look like that. They're going to be popping up in random nature through the afternoon, so just have the radar handy. And obviously, when thunder roars, go indoors. The zone forecast for the inland areas today, likely mid to upper 80s here in spots, but it's going to feel a lot warmer. It's just like what Archie Bunker says: stifle yourself, Edith. Lake Erie shoreline is going to be the cooler spot today, around 80 at the waterfront. That Lake Erie temperature once again at 76 degrees. How about this picture from Sean Sweatman? Beautiful sunshot of a beautiful shot of the sunset last night. I don't know what I was trying to say there. 84 tomorrow, 80 on Wednesday. We do back it down. Small chance for a shower, mainly in the morning. We get warm once again on Thursday and Friday, and then into the weekend we stay rather warm and humid with scattered afternoon showers and storms popping up once again. We'll take a break and be right back. Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from Windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, online shopping for the holidays could get a bit expensive thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. That's if it's delivered by UPS. The company says it will add surcharges for delivery on big items, but it won't affect customers buying small goods. The surcharge will cost between $1 and $4. The cost can also vary depending on whether delivery is via ground or air. Now, UPS ships more than 25,000 packages per week. Well, Wendy's is eating McDonald's for breakfast, or more accurately, consumers are choosing to buy breakfast at Wendy's instead of its competitors. If you remember, back in March, Wendy's launched an innovative morning menu with items like the Baconator and the Frosty Chino that target a younger demographic. And then the coronavirus came and really forced people to go through drive-thrus only. Wendy's breakfast sales took that and ran with it. They now account for about 8% of revenue for that chain. That's been enough to bolster the chain despite the downturn for the food and beverage industry. Well, feel free to procrastinate and put things off until later, because today marks a very special holiday known as National Lazy Day. Not much is known about this annual observance because researchers didn't feel like working on the subject. The top rule for the National Lazy Day is if you can't reach it, you don't need it. For those who don't want to self-identify as lazy, another word could be relaxed. It's the official word. The official exercise of National Lazy Day, Dakota, is diddly squats. Get it? Diddly squats?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you seated?
Yes.
Yeah, National Lazy Day. Dakota is I'm seated. I have a rolly chair with no back.
So do I.
Yeah.
I took the chair out of the weather office.
There you go. I always find it weird because there is another chair. I've always liked how they have this studio. Can we come back to Justin? There's another chair here. And for when we used to have, people in here.
Right.
Like Dakota, you would come in here and sit next to me, but because of COVID, it'd be kind of silly to wear a mask. So we talk to each other through a delayed communication. It's interesting. But anyways, so no back, so I can't lean back. But happy National Lazy Day.
This chair has a back, but I've got it right up against the chroma key wall, so.
Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah.
You look so tiny compared to how you normally are.
I know.
Because you're so far away. Oh my God.
I know. But
it's
anyway.
like you're sitting there on the Riverwalk.
Yeah, there you go. I'm swimming in the Chattacoin. 64 to 73 tonight, partly to mainly clear tonight, but a very stifling humidity. Justin, back to you.
All right, Dakota. You don't want to swim in the Chattacoin. Nobody wants to swim in the Chattacoin.
Let's get our kayaks out.
You can kayak. Beautiful.
Can you even buy kayaks anymore? The last I knew, they were like all sold out everywhere because that was the next panic buying item. Everybody was buying them.
Seriously though, I think it was because my girlfriend and I were actually looking for some. It's probably months ago. We were like, oh, let's get some kayaking. It'd be kind of fun, and we couldn't find them anywhere. They were, if they were places, it was online, and it was ridiculous. I mean, it was like $300+ for the high-end kayak. It's like, can I just get the basic model to see if I like it or not? You know?
Just go on The Price is Right and win one. Maybe they'll give one away on the day you're there.
That's true. Maybe. All right, Dakota. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's check in with the comments. Say hello to Joseph. He says, bring back Norm. Yeah, there's so many things, unfortunately, because of COVID that we can't do because of the restrictions. But I just, it's the thing. It's like a lot of people working together, a lot of people having to work at home. And unfortunately, it's the new normal, I think of it. So, but hopefully we'll get to something soon. Good to see Renee. She says, those in tents, yeah. People must be getting ready to get outdoors. At least they're enjoying it. Jay says he's celebrating right now from his couch. Congrats. Happy National Lazy Day. Don says lame. Not funny. Oh, Don, come on. A little humor. Everyone likes to be lazy every now and then. Good to see Bernie as well. And Joseph, thanks for joining us. Hopefully everybody is having a good day. Good afternoon to Raymond. Thanks so much for joining us today. That's going to do it for our edition of WNY News Now at noon. Of course, we are back here tomorrow live at noon with a look at all the local headlines that matter to you. In the meantime, when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. All you got to do is search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We'll leave you with this live shot over downtown. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.